In the major scale master pattern, the index finger passes from large to small strings in the order of fourths: 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. And if you had a seventh string, it would go to 4. The major scale tone sequence 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4 forms stacked perfect fourths, where each note to the next higher pitch is a perfect fourth, equivalent to a 5-fret interval on a single string, counting the difference between two fret numbers like frets 1 and 6. To suggest a guitar with infinite frets and infinite strings, here's a 14-fret perfect fourth guitar with major scale tones 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4 in perfect fourths. Notice the interval shape between scale tones 4 and 7. The 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4 number series is all on one fret, then repeats on one fret higher at the diagonal intersection between these scale tones 4 and 7. On this conceptual guitar, every string would be tuned at its 5th fret to the next smaller string, including here on the 3rd string. In contrast, the standard guitar tuning tunes each string at the 5th fret to the next smaller string open, except the 3rd string, 4th fret, is tuned to the 2nd string open. The 3rd string is the 3rd from the smallest string. The scale tone, which is a fourth above major scale tone 4, is major scale tone 7, and the interval from major scale tone 4 to major scale tone 7 is an augmented fourth. Notice on the diagram at the left that the span of 4 notes, 1 to 4, 2 to 5, 3 to 6, 5 to 2, 6 to 3, all the ones other than 4 to 7 in the sequence are 5 frets. But 4 to 7, since it has 3 whole step intervals semi-pointing, 2 frets from 4 to 5, that's a whole step, 2 frets from 5 to 6, whole step, 2 frets from 6 to 7. So that's the only span of 4 scale tones in the major scale that spans 3 whole steps, which is an augmented fourth, making it a larger interval, which is why, as you see above here, in the master pattern, 4 has to go up to 7, one fret toward the body of the guitar to scale tone 7. The interval fingerings for major scale tones 4 to 7 on each pair of strings on a standard tuned guitar are shown below. As you can see, they're all uniformly the same, relatively the same. On adjacent pair of strings in perfect fourths, except the 3rd and 2nd strings, the interval shapes are the same, with 2 notes making a diagonal shape on adjacent strings. Like here's a key of C, 4 to 7, F to B, 5th and 4th string, F to B, 4th and 3rd string, F to B, that's 4 to 7, 3rd string, F to B, 4 to 7. Notice the empty fret between them, and 4 to 7 on the 2nd to 1st string, F to B. Exceptionally on the 3rd and 2nd strings, which are not tuned in perfect fourths. Remember, they're tuned 1 fret flat compared to the bass strings. Major scale tone 4 to 7 have 1 empty fret between them graphically. In building the 3-note per string fingerings, there are two reasons why a note on a particular string doesn't go to the next smallest string on the same fret. Like here, 4 to 7 doesn't go to the same fret because it's an augmented fourth, like I mentioned earlier, so that goes up one fret. All the other numbers, if you look at 1, it goes to the next smallest string in the same fret. 2 does, 3 does, 4 does not. 5 does, 5 to 1. 6 does, 6 to 2. 7 does, 7 to 3. It's just 4 to 7 goes up a fret. But there's one other deviation. So this cordoned off rounded rectangle here shows 6 strings of the infinite guitar fretboard in perfect fourths, and that would be the pattern for a 3-note per string major scale if you were tuned in perfect fourths all the way across, but we tune the first 2 strings flat by tuning the 3rd string 4th fret to the 2nd string open. So what that causes is in each of these fingerings, the notes on the 2 smallest strings in this rounded rectangle of 6 strings have to go 1 fret toward the body of the guitar to compensate. Look on the right, the compensation has been made. In this rounded rectangle here, the 4 strings on the left side of it are reflected here exactly the same. But the strings starting with 6 and 2 here, 2nd and 1st string, those 6 notes have to go, as you see, 1 fret toward the body of the guitar. So this is what I call fingering 1, where the lowest pitch is index finger fingering 1. Here's fingering 2. We're just going to do the same thing in all 7 fingerings. It's uniform. Start on 2. This is your pattern. There's your 4 going to 7 because it's an augmented fourth. And up here is 4 to 7, or down here, 4 to 7, augmented fourth, changing the fret. But then you get this pattern. And when you convert it to the 3-note per string major scale on a standard tuned guitar, in this case, 4 has already been shown to go up 1 fret to 7 toward the body of the guitar. But here it has to go an additional fret up because this is the 3rd to 2nd string. We have to compensate for that tuning. So these notes, 7 through 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, have been moved up 2 frets this time because of those 2 reasons to move up 1 fret. I call it double jeopardy. Then here's fingering 3. 4 to 7, notice here, has a deviation going up a fret, and then the 7 through 6, 2, 5, 1, 4 is continuing from there. But within that rectangle, again, you take the notes on the first 2 strings, move them up a fret, and you get this on the right. That's a completed 3-note per string major scale fingering. Now here's scale tone 4. Right off the bat, you have to go up a fret to 7, and then you take the pattern here. Here's 4 to 7 at the lower right again. You take the pattern and take those 2 smaller strings, move them up a fret, and there's your fingering on the far right. Fingering 5, 5 at the upper left, call that fingering 5. There's the 4 to 7. In the middle of it, this would be the 4th to 3rd string, right? This, because these in the rectangle are strings 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that string 4 to 3 would have that 4 to 7 deviation where it goes up a fret. And then the first 2 strings, you take these 6 notes from 3 to 1 here, move them up a fret towards the body of the guitar to compensate for the change of tuning from the 3rd to 2nd string. Here's scale tone 6, same deal. Here's 4 to 7, showing the augmented 4th interval, and it's 4 to 7 on the top. And take the notes on the first 2 strings, move them 1 fret towards the body of the guitar. There you have fingering 6. And then 3-note per string fingering 7. This is a typo right here where it says 6. That should be 7. I'll fix that. But when you get to the 2nd string here, again, you take these two strings and move them up a fret, and you get this fingering that you see on the far right, and that's fingering 7. We now covered all the fingerings. Next, we'll work on converting 3-note per string major scale fingerings to in position fingerings, and from those you can use the 3-note per string fingerings to get the in position fingerings, and then you'll know the 14 most important fingerings to build all your major scale fingering all over the guitar. That's the master pattern. Notice that these are the same interval, and when I go to the second string, I have to go up a fret because of our change of tuning. And that would occur like this if starting at scale tone 7, it'd occur like this with half step, whole step, ascending towards the body of the guitar, half step, whole step, and then whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So at scale tones 7 and 3 with the index finger, it's half, whole, half, whole, half, whole. And with 6 and 2, it's whole step, which is 2 frets, half step, whole step, half step, and at 2, it's also whole step, half step. And remember, I'm going up 1 fret because of the change of tuning. And this is 5 with double whole step, 1 with double whole step, and if you had a 7th string, it'd be double whole step again. This pattern can start with any tone on the 6th string. If you look at the diagrams above, if I start on fingering 5, for instance, in C major, I was in C major now, by the way. If I was in fingering 5, this would be 5, and I start off with the 3 double holes at 5, 1, and 4. Then where the pattern starts over, my index finger has to go up a fret, because from 4 to 7 is not a perfect fourth. It's 3 whole steps or 6 frets, where any other note in the major scale, like if I started on 5, 5, 6, 7, 1, is instead of 5 fret interval, because any other interval like that one has a half step within it somewhere. The 3 to 4 or 7 to 1 half step is within it somewhere. Okay, so now let's start building from these fingerings. You can memorize all these fingerings and use what I've just told you to learn them. And let's start building in position fingerings from those. First, memorize this set of 7 major scale fingerings on the 1st and 2nd string, 2nd and 1st string, and orient them to the 2nd string, which I call tracking. So the 2nd string, we're going to track 1, 2, 3, 4, half step, right? 5, 6, 7, 1, and the other half step from 7 to 1. And in each one of those, play 6 notes. You could just read right out of the diagrams above for in position, and be aware that where there's a parentheses on the top note on the 2nd string on the diagram on the top note, like 5 in fingering 1, we're going to use that. That's an option note, but we're going to use the option this time. Also in fingering 4, we're going to use that 1, and in fingering 7, we're going to use that 4. So fingering 1, now I'm using the number 1 in regard to the lower note on the 2nd string. Might be a little confusing, but I'm going to call this fingering 1 when I'm just playing these 6 notes. You see my cursor there. So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then start at 2. Notice that change of interval on the top, and that was because it's 4 to 7, right? It has to go up a fret when you go to 4 to 7, like this, that diagonal angle. And then I'm on fingering 3. I know it says 6, but remember, I'm numbering after the 2nd string. 3 and 4. That was this one. and then 5 here as part of fingering 1. That's still in C. And this is 6. 7. That was 6. Here's 7. And 1. Or 1 is here as well. So here are all of them. Just watch my fretting hand here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 reoccurring. So memorize all 7 of those. And now we'll work on converting the 3-note per string fingerings to in-position fingerings. In each fingering, we're going to play from the lowest pitch for the index finger on the 6th string to the highest pitch, or the one closest to the body of the guitar, on the 3rd string. And then we're going to find that duplicate note from the 3rd string on the 2nd string, 4 frets lower. This was fret 12, so that's fret 8. And then play up the scale 6 notes. And those 6-note groups, again, were, this is scale tone 5. They go 5, 6, 7, 1 down here. Or it could be up there. 2, 3, 4, and back to 5. Okay, so in fingering 1, 3-note per string, as you see above here, I'm going to play, like I said, from 6th string 1 to 3rd string 5, the highest note on the 3rd string. And the notes I add on by moving that 5, see my cursor here, 5 on the 3rd string to the 5 on the 2nd string. It's actually part of the fingering before it in the cycle. Before fingering 1, it's a cycle. So fingering 7 is before it. So see here, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. That's what we'll put on the first 2 strings. When we do the next fingering, we'll go 2 on the fingering 2 to on the 6th string, to 6 on the 3rd string, then find that duplicate on the 2nd string, and then play from the fingering before it right here, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can always look back to the left. And if you're on this one, looking back to the left is looking at the end, actually, because it's a cycle. Okay, here's the whole deal. Fingering 1. That's 5, and I put that on the 2nd string and continue 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So I get, now I get this in position fingering. Notice there's a duplicate of 5 here and here. You can use your own discretion when you're playing those and choose either note. Fingering 2 goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put that 6 back here on the 2nd string and play 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. I chose to play the note on the 2nd string, and you should do that, by the way, on these 3 frets in the fingerings where there's a note on every string on the same fret, which is where there's a 2 on the 6th string, or a 3, or a 6. Those 3, when you're building these fingerings, when that can be the top of the fingering, here's the in-position fingerings that we're building. See fingering 2 here, it has all the way across. When you're building from the 3-note per string fingering, you could choose either the 6 here on the 3rd string or the 6 on the 2nd string. Choose the one on the 2nd string in all these cases for fingering 2, fingering 3, where the notes are all on the same fret there. Choose the option on the 2nd string. Okay, back to the 3-note per string. So fingering 3 now. I'm at 3 of the key of C, that's an E note. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14, so I subtract 4. Yeah, that's 16. Sorry. 16 subtract 4, and that's 12. And then I continue 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fingering 4 now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then find the duplicate on the second string and continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And altogether you get duplicate. And fingering 5. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Find the duplicate 2 in the second string, continue. So that's then duplicate. Fingering 6. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Duplicate on the second string. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then we're back to that last one, fingering 7. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the 4 in the second string. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. I'm going to choose this option because I have the 4 in either of those places. And that's it. Just go through this step by step. It's a little complicated, but not that bad. And there may be, like many people, decades have gone by, and you never learned all 14 of the major scale fingerings, 7 in position, 7 3-note per string. More guitar players don't know those than know them.